ABC Sports presents the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today, we're in the St. Louis suburb of Florissant, Missouri at Dick Weber Lanes for the $125,000 Angle Open. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by AMF Angle Winning Wear. Angle shirts, balls, bags, and shoes for your winning lifestyle. It's what the winners wear everywhere. My Scope mouthwash, cool, tingly Scope. Works as good as it tastes. Scope helps erase bad breath in seconds and gives you minty fresh breath that lasts. And by Miller High Life, the beer for the best time of the day. Welcome to Miller Time. Areas in the world. Our first game is already underway because of the Olympic hockey game running long. Nelson Burton Jr., normally our colleague here announcing, finished fourth. He is a finalist, and look at that. He opened with 4, marked with a spare, left a 3-pin, but covered it, then with a strike in the 6th. His opponent is a non-winner. You're looking at him now in his second appearance this year, Paul Gibson of O'Fallon, Illinois, about 30 miles from where we're talking right now. He has a spare-up 6-frame shot, trailing by 41. And he needed that strike. And what a juicy story we have here today. We mentioned Bo's on the telecast, he'll bowl. Well, Dick Weber, the legend, is not only our host here, he's also our expert commentator. And even more nerve-wracking for Dick, my pal, is the fact that his youngest son, Pete, is the tournament leader. So, there you see it. Marshall Holman finished 3rd. Pete Couture of Connecticut, 2nd. And Pete Weber, youngest son, Juanita and Dick Weber, is the tournament leader. Dick, this is a tough day for you.
It certainly is, Chris. It's the most exciting day, too.
Oh, getting a high hit, and it's the 6-pin.
And Chris, just watching the match, just to bring the viewers up to date, Bo Burton has just struck every time with exception of 1. Here's Paul Gibson's profile. You'll see that he has a swing that goes into the back, high back swing, good knee bend, good follow through, but at times he's a little bit too late with the ball and it makes him pull the ball. But he's having trouble with the left lane. This is the key lane for the hookers.
All right, that 16-pound bowling ball here in Florissant, Missouri, a suburb of St. Louis. That's 108 for Paul through 6 with a spare up. Now, here is the man that's won 16 PBA titles, and the first time this year that he hasn't been on our telecast as a commentator, and we keep kidding him. He's been bowling consistently, and he qualified 4th. Bo is really having a big first game, Dick.
Really looks sharp. He's right on his game, and he's been working on it recently here.
Just powerful. More power in the ball, Dick. Why?
Extremely sharp. He's been working on an early release, releasing the ball real early at the foul line. He gets a heavier roll at the foul line and more of an impact at the pins.
Look at that, a 24-year member of the PBA and 16 titles, 18 300 games, and we thought he would have one here, hoping the hockey game would end so we could get here in case there was a 300, as Sissy Burton, Bo's wife, and their 3 children are watching here today. She is really nervous. Bo is not. He's loose, relaxed, and ready. Double working, 8th frame. Open with 4, a spare, and a 3-bagger. That's Nikki on the right cheering, his daughter. We're in the first game, and Bo is leading by 61 over Paul Gibson. We're live in Florissant. We'll return here after this message from one of our sponsors.
Firestone announces a different kind of car care. Master Care. One big difference is our computerized diagnostic center, the mastermind of Firestone. It analyzes 200 engine functions, tells us what to fix, tells you what was fixed, virtually eliminating guesswork and unnecessary repairs. The mastermind of Firestone. It's better engine care than humanly possible. Only from Firestone.
Scope presents The Way It Was.
Mother, mouthwash tastes like medicine. Well, if it didn't, it wouldn't work.
Margaret believed it. Today, she still does.
Honey, try Minty Scope. Tastes good.
Then it doesn't fight bad breath.
Scope works. Don't let the good taste fool you. Try it.
Minty.
Fresh breath that lasts.
My mother will never believe it.
Scope works. Don't let the good taste fool you.
An hour from now, there'll be 50,000 fans here, eating, drinking, cheering, and groaning. Some of those fans will leave here not feeling so well. Whether it's heartburn, upset stomach, even diarrhea, they can all take one remarkable medicine for relief. Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, Pepto-Bismol relieves what's wrong, relieves it, then leaves a protective coating behind. Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need.
Well, if you haven't seen him recently, I want you to be reintroduced to my pal, Dick Weber. Here he is, 27 titles, every Hall of Fame that you can think of. He's our host here. He's our commentator today because Bo is bowling, and his son is a tournament leader. Dick?
The greatest spot to be in. With you, Bo, bowling, Pete on the show, it's the greatest spot in the world to be right now.
All right, our first game continues. 8th frame for Paul Gibson, trailing by 61, a spare working. Good pocket hit. It's only his 4th strike in this game as Deanna, his wife, who happens to be Tom Baker's sister. Tom Baker, winner of 6 PBA titles. In other words, this man's brother-in-law. And sometimes roommate on the road, and has helped him.
Yes, very much so. And, you know, interesting note, Paul has hit the right lane every time. On the left lane, he has not touched at all. He's got to make a drastic move here and get charging to put a little pressure on Bo. Just that.
Yes, he did. Beautiful double and a smile from 25-year-old Paul Gibson of O'Fallon, Illinois. I can't believe that Bo's reached the age of 41. But, you know, it's his 10th year being our regular commentator, and I can't believe that. But then, Dick, we go back 23 years when this started, this series.
That's for sure.
Strong. Mickey Nelson, youngest of 2 daughters, the other being Katrina, and their son Tripper is a chip off the block, believe me, just like his dad at whom you're looking.
Exactly like his dad. In fact, he's throwing the ball like his dad, too.
Oh, boy. So is your son, Pete Weber, who is the tournament leader. Imagine that right here. You know, the hardest thing in the world is to win or do well in your hometown.
Extremely hard.
It's tough.
Yes, it is.
Bo's, this is his hometown. Look at that.
Really wired in. He's not using a lot of boards or anything like that. He's just throwing straight to the pocket. Here's a beautiful profile of Bo Burton. Knees very well bent. Low at the foul line. Shoulder high backswing. Crisp. Good follow through. Just couldn't ask for a better picture.
All right, if you really want to become a classic bowler, just watch this man. And if you can concentrate like he can, you'll be tough. Just great pen action. He had a 280 once in Toledo, one of our telecasts, and I'll tell you, he is going to be tough to beat. He'll be in the 270s.
And you give him that confidence, that kind of line to the pocket. And as sharp as he is, he's going to be pretty tough. And they all know it.
You got a gracious loser in Paul Gibson of O'Fallon, Illinois. All he can do is smile and appreciate the great bowling that Bo is doing here. Can't beat near perfection, can you?
No, you can't. It's not at all.
So Bo Burton has bowled a 278. That's right. He has defeated Paul Gibson, who will win $5,000. So Nelson Burton is the winner of the first match, 278.
The hockey arena at Lake Placid. It's filled with memories. 4 years later, the names have changed, but the dream is the same. And even though they're playing in a different arena in a town called Sarajevo, Reed Miller would like to say we're still with you. This cheer was brought to you by Miller High Life, sponsor of the U.S. hockey team and Olympic training centers.
Missed you.
Oh, yeah? What did you miss most?
Your face. You know how I like to touch you?
Oh, that's a good thing I use Noxzema. That's why I feel so soft.
Oh?
Well, it's more than just a close shave. It soothes my skin. And you know how sensitive my skin is.
I just know it's soft.
That's the moisturizer that...
Glad you're back.
Noxzema medicated shave cream. Share the softness.
Hurtling yourself down a sheet of ice at incredible speeds. The exhilaration of knowing you've conquered the odds. Olympic competition, an athlete's reward for a lifetime. Coverage continues next on ABC.
He's just sort of relaxing, and he has reason to relax. We're looking at Nelson Burton Jr. He just shot a .278 in the first game with 10 strikes to defeat Paul Gibson. That's right, he's the winner. So coming up next, Nelson Burton Jr. will go against Marshall Holman. The Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message. And a word from our local stations. Don't miss the next match. Two of the greats in bowling, two colorful ones, will go at each other head to head.
If you're not getting much for your money these days, look in the Dollar Dazzler circular and find out how far $5 will stretch at True Value hardware stores. Put household chores within easy reach with the Rubbermaid Roughneck Step Stool. Clean and brighten laundry with a 10-pound box of True Test concentrated detergent. Or add this Master Mechanic 7-piece drill bit set to your workshop. You'll find them all for just $5 each at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
All you gotta do is smell the coffee, splash on Old Spice. Now you're moving, isn't it nice? Standing tall now, you're doing it right. Pour out a handful, splash on some spice.
Nobody sends more guys out there than America's favorite, unmistakably masculine Old Spice.
Now you're moving, don't think twice. Splash on the feeling, splash on some spice.
Monday, February 20th, a spectacular 3-hour network first, Superman 2.
Your Go Olds dealer has changed the 84 Cutlass Supreme to the California Cutlass, and it's like no other Cutlass. Fire mist finish, special accent striping, wire wheel discs, sport mirrors, body side molding, and 98 Regency velour trim. Save today during the Great Old Sales Rally. It's the best day to get a special deal on an Oldsmobile, including the official cars of the Bing Crosby Golf Tournament, the Cutlass Sierra, and the Cruiser Wagon. Your Go Olds dealer contributes from every sale to the American Cancer Society.
There wasn't much to an automobile in those days we insured cars like this. There wasn't much to the law either. But as of January 1st, there's a new law. And the new law says, if you are caught driving without insurance, you can lose your license up to 4 years. And losing your driver's license can be as restrictive as being in handcuffs. Call Schmokel Insurance. You'll love our low, competitive prices and complete coverage. Call Super Schmokel today.
Steve's Giants Fantasy starts Monday.
We hope you saw the final portion of our first match. Nelson Burton Jr. with 10 strikes defeating Paul Gibson, who had 8. 278 to 218. So our championship pair today, 18 strikes in the first game. Let's see now what Nelson Burton Jr. can do against an intimidating, a flamboyant bowler named Marshall Holman. So, Dick Weber, Marshall Holman is not unfamiliar to your establishment.
That's for sure, because he has a great record here, just as well as Bo Burton. But last year, on the right lane, he left the 4-5, lost the match to Johnny Petraglia, and according to statistics and views from the PVA members, Marshall should have won the tournament last year because he bowled the best.
Also 16 titles. Rob.
And one little interesting note, we noticed that Marshall's picked the left lane to start on to finish on the right lane. And that being because the left lane is a little bit tougher for the fellas that try to hook the ball a little bit more than what Bo is doing.
Marshall Holman from Jacksonville, Oregon. 29, 5 feet 9, 140 pounds. Really one of the fantastic competitors.
Great attitude.
Misunderstood by a lot of people. I think he's great. He marked with spare in the first frame. Now, Nelson Burton, after striking out, shooting a .278 in the first match to advance to this point. This is his first shot in the second game.
That break.
Of course, that's what it takes, doesn't it, Dick? You need the breaks.
Oh, it certainly does. Here's the replay action. As you'll see, the ball a little bit high in the 1-3 pocket, but the 2 kicks the 4, and the ball just nicks the 9.
Last time that Bo was on a championship round, he and Sam Zurich teamed up to win the 1982 Showboat PBA Doubles Classic. Bo's 46th career appearance in the TV finals. Where he left off.
You give him the breaks, you give him the confidence he has, and he's going to be the champion. He's really, really tough.
The winner of this match will meet another tough one, Pete Couture, and then the tournament leader happens to be Pete Weber, Dick's son. And you talk about a tough cookie. Well, where do you see Pete Ball? From the moment it left his fingers that baby had the right line hitting the pocket. Here it is again.
Watch how low Marshall stays to the floor. Knees bent good. Nice shoulder level backswing. Releases the ball with just a straight uplift and a good follow through. Not much of a turn, but gets a heavy roll on the ball with that forward lift.
Look at that. Career earnings nearly $700,000. Our 5 bowlers together have earned over $2 million using all the approach and then some. He's not going to let Nelson Burton Jr. get away from him.
No, means he's got the confidence. He's got that fiery activity in him. He's just a fierce competitor, Chris.
Another great pocket hit. So, now, Nelson Burton. He has a double up, shooting in the 3rd frame. See career earnings for Bo, just about the same as Marshall. Shy by about $50,000.
300 would take care of that right away.
Wouldn't it? A turkey. We're in Florissant, Missouri, and as Dick Weber has told me, it's the 4th largest city in the state of Missouri.
And also the 2nd safest city of its size in the United States.
Oh, I think I'll stay with that statistic. What is 2nd safest city of its size in the United States?
Yes, we're very proud of that.
What great citizens and what a law enforcement department you must have.
Very good, a law enforcement.
All right, now 4th frame, Nelson Burton. 2nd game. Sissy Burton. I don't know. I've seen more great pocket hits today than I've seen in a long time, and all by the same man, Nelson Burton Jr. He is leading by 20, but Marshall Holman is his opponent with a double up. He'll be shooting in the 4th. We're in Florissant, Missouri, suburb of St. Louis, right by the Arch. We'll be back.
Come on in, take a seat. We're gonna tell you what the big boys eat. Name is Wheaties, crunchy wheat. Now you know what the big boys eat. Hello, milk, come on in. Jump in, berry, have a swim. Wheaties, Wheaties, crunchy wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
Part of your good breakfast. You know how it feels. The pressure. The misery of sinus. When you've got sinus congestion, you want powerful relief. You want the power of 12-hour, the sinus strength formula from the makers of neosynephrine. It starts instantly to clear sinus congestion, so you feel like yourself again. For sinus congestion, nothing is stronger or lasts longer than 12-hour, the sinus strength formula from the makers of neosynephrine.
Next week, the Professional Bowlers Tour heads north to Peoria for the $150,000 True Value Open. Last year, the great Earl Anthony rolled to victory on his last year of the tour. The Professional Bowlers Tour next week, back at its regular time, 3:30 Eastern and Pacific, 2:30 Central on ABC.
As we look at Marshall Holman and Bo Burton's score in the second game, Bo leading by 20, Marshall has a double up. And yes, next week we will be in another River City, Peoria, for the True Value Open at Ray Becker's Landmark Lanes. And the Meisterbrow Open in the Cleveland, Ohio area, 2 weeks from today, 3 weeks. Toledo, Ohio, PBA National Championship. And Dick, I know you're going to bowl in that event.
I'll be there.
King Louis follows that. Now Holman, double up. Oh, yes. And he, you know, there are so many times we could say a crucial frame. But Dick, he needed that one right there.
He certainly does, and he knows he has to keep on the ball because he knows Bo is so sharp.
Look at that.
Oh, man.
You know, the Olympic Games may be underway in Yugoslavia, but the best bowlers in the world are right here.
I'd hate to be between his eyes and the pins at that particular time when he was looking.
Looks like he'd take your head off. Well, when you compete against him, all he wants to do is beat you, and so does this man whose shoes you're seeing, Marshall Holman.
Oh, is he happy? He
Friday four-bagger. Look at that. That is sincerity coming out of that 140-pound body.
He wasn't quite sure with the release. He thought maybe it possibly hit a little weak. Boy, it had some power on it. Carried the 10 pins out nicely.
All right. 32 PBA titles between them. 16 each. 4 in a row. Now the 5th frame. I mentioned True Value hardware a little while ago as you look at those 5 X's on that bottom line. If somebody can bowl a 300 game during our television series in its 23rd year, I'll be proud to give them $50,000 from True Value. 15 strikes in his first 17 frames.
It only takes 12 strikes to get 300, Chris.
Yeah.
If we could just put those together.
Yeah, Bo had 10 in the first. Now, 6th frame for Nelson Burton. And again, it's that single pin. This time coming in the 6th frame, a 6 pin.
And Chris, this released the ball a little bit too early that time, earlier than he really wanted to. Dropped it, pulled the ball at the same time, and causing it to go right to the nose and leaving the 6 pin.
The
bad break.
Angle open at Dick Weber Lanes. And Bo at the right angle, uncovering the 6 pin. And he has a spare in the 6th frame after 5 strikes. Whew. Now, Holman. He has 4 in a row shooting in the 6th. He can take the lead by 1 pin.
And if he's close to the pocket, he might run 15 lanes to the left or 15 lanes to the right on this one. He's that keyed up.
63 appearances on our telecasts. Average 212 for 90 games. High average award on the tour. 1982, 216. But the only time that Earl Anthony didn't win it in recent years.
He released the ball real early, got the ball on the thumb hole, but the ball rolled so heavy it wrapped that 6 right around the 10. Couldn't believe it. Even though the ball hit the thumb hole, watch the hit. So solid in the pocket. Watch the 6-pin wrap right around the 10-pin. Disbelief. He was so proud of that ball.
Maybe they should have kept it a 9-pin game. Sort of started that way. And I make that comment because in June 1 and 2, the Bowling Hall of Fame will open here in St. Louis. Spare for Marshall Holman, trailing now by 10 pins, where he could have taken the lead by 1, leaving that single pin.
Chris Marshall's had 6 bowling balls in the pocket. Nelson Burton's had 5 out of the 6 in the pocket.
Does it help to wipe off the bowling ball?
Yes, it wipes off the excess oil. It gives a little bit drier surface.
Mm-hmm.
Gives the bowler a little more confidence.
Okay. All right, big strike for Marshall Holman in the 7th frame. Second game, Burton won the first game 278 to 218. Now, his opponent is Marshall Holman, worth the $125,000 Angle Open Dick Weber Lanes in Florissant, Missouri. We will return.
Today you need an oil this good. You need Quaker State. When your engine's this new, you gotta protect your investment. You need an oil this good.
When your engine's this old, it needs extra care. You need an oil this good.
Small engines work so hard, they demand an oil this good.
These motor oils are refined exclusively from Pennsylvania-grade crude. Quaker State is so good, it's America's best-selling motor oil. New cars,
Old cars.
Small cars.
today you need Quaker State. You need an oil this good.
Down the home stretch, you can almost taste victory. And it's sure gonna taste great.
Welcome to Miller time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
The story this week in Florissant, Missouri is the fact that the man in blue, Nelson Burton Jr., qualified 4th. The owner's son of the lanes, Pete Weber, is the tournament leader. And that owner is our commentator, as he is when Bo gets on the telecast, Dick Weber. 7th frame strike for Bo. Unbelievable. All but 2 frames, 3 frames strikes for Nelson.
Chris, you mentioned my son, Pete. I'm glad he doesn't bowl like his father.
You mean like his father bowls now?
That's exactly right.
But Pete and most every bowler in the world has yet to be put into the PBA Hall of Fame, the ABC Hall of Fame, 4 BPAA All-Star victories. Hey, you were pretty great, Dick.
Very fortunate.
He's also from Indiana, folks. And a native of Missouri, Nelson Burton Jr., married to that sweet lady, Sissy, as another strike in the 8th.
As you see, a solid. Couldn't be any solider, Chris. Couldn't be any more solid than the 1-3 pocket.
In fact, we talked about Dick's son, Pete, being the tournament leader. Well, John and Rich all were or are PBA members. And Juanita Weber, Dick's wife, used to average about 175.
Still does with a 10-pound ball.
Gee.
Key hit for Marshall Holman. Oh.
Would you believe a 4-9?
Couldn't throw the ball any better, Chris. It's just one of those bad breaks. Everything is going against Marshall. As you see the ball entering the 1-3 pocket, solid. 2-pin wrapping around the 4, and the ball going to the left side of the 9-pin.
And the odds are 4-1 for a professional to make this. But if there's anybody in the world that can make it, it's Marshall Holman.
And really, it's a must situation to go for it.
Got too much of it. So a disastrous open frame in the 8th, giving him 177 through the 8th. Marshall Holman.
Again, Chris, that right lane is what cost Marshall Holman the possibility of winning last year here at the PBA Open that we had. And again, this year, it's really cost Marshall a solid 10 and a 4-9.
Last year, he reached the final 9 times, winning 2 titles. Ninth frame strike for Nelson Burton, or rather for Marshall Holman. Nelson and Marshall have been touring the country on exhibitions together. And this is not the first time they've met.
About 45 appearances in 18 days. That's quite a few appearances, and both said it really put him in shape.
Burton Jr.'s increased his lead to 42 pins.
When you throw the ball and back up, just as Bo Burton did, relaxed, you know you've got it all.
There you see his U.S. Open and Master titles. $20,000 to the winner of this Angle Open Championship today. The winner of this game, our second game, will meet Pete Couture. The winner of that semifinal will go into the final one-game match against the tournament leader, Pete Weber. These St. Louis, Florissant, Missouri fans are having a field day. Imagine if Bo could keep bowling as he has here in the first 2 games and then get into the final against another St. Louis bowler, Pete Weber. I don't know. It might tear down the rafters here, Dick, and you'd need a new bowling establishment.
Be glad to put one up, Chris. You know, interesting note about Bo. He qualified 11th, dropped to 21st. After he dropped to 21st, he told me, Dick, he says, I'm going to win this tournament.
I've never seen pins fly. Those almost went out of the house.
Happy young lady, isn't she? There you see that ball as solid as can be. Just everything's perfect. All 10 pins in the pit.
You know who's really happy is Dad Nelson Sr., the great Hall of Fame bowler, and Nelson's mom. They're the big rooters for this 41-year-old champion.
And they're viewing today, and we'll say hello and congratulations to them. Fine family.
A 278 in the first game, and now with 11 strikes, 279. Incredible. Couture is next for Mr. Burton. We'll be back.
Introducing new Gillette Foamy Gel. The gel that gives you more than any other gel. More lubricants. Better beard setup. More lubricants. Smooth takeoff. More lubricants. For the closeness and comfort you want in a shave, get new Gillette Foamy Gel. The gel that gives you more.
Nearly 4 hours. That's how long it took us to paint this room with a roller. Then we painted it in less than 1 hour with the new Wagner Power Roller. A living room that took nearly 7 hours. The Wagner Power Roller finished in less than 3. The Power Roller pumps paint straight from the can to the roller or to any of several optional accessories. Why waste your time painting a pan when you could be painting your walls instead? The Wagner Power Roller, the right tool for painting.
Hey, what'd I tell you? My man is the favorite.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours, and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
Imagine swimming almost 2.5 miles, biking 112 miles, then running a full marathon all in one day. 964 men and women started. Some hope to win. Most just hope to survive. The Ironman Triathlon World Championship today on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Look at that, our usual commentating partner practicing what he preaches. That's right. Bo Burton, 278 victory in the first game, 279 in the second, 10 strikes in the first, 11 in the second. Imagine that. Wow. Well, that's the highest score we've had this year, and Bo has broken both. 265 was the highest. Now he's at a 278 and a 279. Well, it's time for the Rolaids tip of the week, Nelson Burton Jr. Now, you think he's big and well-conditioned? Watch the man working with Bo on a conditioning exercises that'll help you.
The Professional Bowler's Tip of the Week is brought to you by Rolaids.
Week after week on the Professional Bowlers Tour, I give you tips to improve your style. This week's bowling tip of the week will not only improve your style, but it'll improve your health and your bowling score. With me is exercise physiologist Joe Tangaro, who has helped many of the top pros in the Midwest area. Joe, welcome to the Pro Bowlers Tour.
Thanks, Bo.
What do you have for us this week?
I've got 3 exercises that I feel will benefit the weekend bowler or the professional involving the muscles that they use while they're bowling.
Okay.
The legs, the shoulders, the biceps, and the wrist.
All right.
First one will be a stiff-legged deadlift or a forward bend using the bowling ball for your resistance. You just grab it in the center, lean forward, touch your toes, and come back up. 15 or 20 repetitions ought to do on that.
How about the shoulder and the bicep?
This would be what I call a curl done with the bowling ball for resistance again. Curling up and back down. The same motion as while you're releasing the ball.
And how about the most important part of the game of bowling, and that's the wrist and the explosion point to get the power on the ball?
I got something to help you release, Bo. That's what I call a wrist curl. Over any flat surface with your bowling ball, done for another 15 or 20 repetitions.
Thank you, Joe. Remember the 3 tips that Joe Tangaro has given us to improve your bowling. Number 1, for the back and the legs. Number 2, the curl for the bicep and the shoulder. And number 3, that wrist curl to improve your release for a stronger bowling ball.
Hey, Tommy Lasorda, how do you spell relief?
Roger, I love to eat, but I don't always manage my stomach right. For heartburn, I spell relief R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Wherever I am, for heartburn, it's R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolaids really does spell relief.
Like a sponge, Rolaids antacid medicine consumes 100% of the acid required to give millions 100% relief.
With that batting average, it's R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
For millions of Americans, Rolaids spells 100% relief.
Professional Bowlers Tour telecast continues on the hottest bowling that we've had here in 1984. And the man on the right in the blue shirt is providing it, averaging 278 with 2 victories, Nelson Burton Jr. Our telecast game averages thus far, this is our 6th stop, 199. Thus far today, after 2 games, the average of all 4 is 248. Whew. 21 of a possible 24 strikes. 3rd match for Bo. First time he hasn't started with a strike, leaving a 4-7. And one thing we should always point out here, it's very tough to come from that first game and go all the way because of lights, because of pressure. But if there's anybody physically fit to go all the way, I'd have to say that this man can.
Totally agree with you, Chris, on that. Totally agree. Works hard his game. He works hard on keeping himself fit all the way through.
If you enjoyed the Rolaids tip of the week with Bo's friend Joe, both Dick and I turned down that role because we didn't think we looked quite like Joe. 2 of the skinny kids from Indiana doing the commentating today. Here's a much smaller man than Bo in weight, 140 pounds, Pete Couture, 5 times champion. And that sort of beige or burnt gold bowling ball, the 4-pin stands.
And here's Pete Couture's profile. You notice he has bent knees all the way through his approach and a crooked arm such as Don Carter used to have, but it straightens out the release, good follow through, good foot work at the foul line.
So the match is all even, our 3rd game. Each with a spare. If you just joined us, Nelson Burton Jr. won the first game over Paul Gibson, 278 to 218. Bo came back in the second match against Marshall Holman, 279 to 217.
You know, Chris, speaking of Don Carter viewing the PBA Tour last week, watching the telecast, he looked real well, and I understand he's bowling pretty well, so you better sharpen him up, Don. I'm still after you.
Yes, we had one shot, videotaped one shot. Of course, it was a strike, and didn't he look good?
Great man, great man.
Oh. Now here is a tough competitor. Did you see that reaction? The big, like, applause, but he gave Bo a look. Look out, buddy.
Here's the hit. Watch the swish. Swishing the 5-pin. The 2 going to the 4 and 7. Good mix. Good roll on the ball. Like you say, he tried to psych Bo out a little bit with that look.
All right, and there's some of that psyching, and here's one of the better psychers. It's about to bowl right now. Spare up, shooting in the second. And he left a 10-pin.
Leaving the weak 10. Last 2 balls, Chris, he's hung in the thumb hole just a little bit longer than he wants to. One habit the Bo's trying to work on to get out of, and as you see the ball hit the pocket, you'll see the 6-pin lay in the gutter. It's what we call a flat 10. Didn't kick the 10 out. Not a good roll.
That was the voice of Dick Weber, who fills in when this man makes the finals. And Dick, it's really fun working with you today because our mutual friend is bowling right now. And then in the next game, the tournament leader is your son, Pete, who will meet the winner of this match.
May I ask permission now to take over the whole telecast and be prejudiced about that?
Oh, sure. What kind of dad would you be if you weren't wishing your son well?
Very proud.
Bo now with 2 spares after 21 strikes in 2 games. 3rd frame.
Good ball. Good ball.
That is Nikki Burton, 10 years old. Is she pretty?
Beautiful. Whole family's beautiful. See Bo's ball entering the pocket solid again. Got the thumb out early. Really happy with the release and the carry.
Couture using all the approach, all 16 feet of it now. Strike up, shooting in the 3rd frame. High hit, leaving the 3-6.
Pete saying to himself, nice shot, nice shot. And he knew he threw the ball terribly. He got the elbow out, as we call it, the chicken wing shot.
Uh-huh.
And makes you overturn and pull the ball. He'll correct that, though.
12 years, member of the PBA, 5 championships. Cross lane. Ooh, awfully close. But marking with a spare, staying clean. Now, the loser of the first game, Paul Gibson, won $5,000. Loser of the second game, Marshall Holman, $6,000. Couture leading by 1 pin. National Bowling Hall of Fame being completed, construction, memorabilia intact, opening June 1st and 2nd of this year. And Bruce Pluckon is here. That's done so much toward it. Okay, we're in the land of Lewis and Clark, Missouri. That's right. We'll be back with more of this 3rd game after this.
The Angle Ball, the big winner on last winter's Pro TV Tour. 4 times more wins than any other ball. Inspires Angle winning wear for your winning lifestyle. Angle shirts, winners wear them everywhere. Angle bowling shoes, fast lock. Angle bags that travel the world. For your winning lifestyle, Angle winning wear at pro shops only.
Slippers overweight. That's an extra charge. Another overweight. Another extra charge. Another overweight.
Some express companies have strict rules about how much your overnight letter can weigh. Pure Letter Courier's different. We keep coming up with ways to make things better for you. Like Pure Letter Plus. All the pages you can fit in a big 9x12 envelope, no matter how much it weighs. Only $9.75. Pure Letter Plus from Pure Letter Courier. you want it, you got it.
Looking at Nelson Burton Jr., while we were away, Bo had a strike in the fourth, giving him a double, a 9-pin lead, now shooting in the fifth. His third match today. His opponent is Pete Couture of Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Right back where he started at the beginning of our telecast. He's had games of 278, 279.
And that shot there, Chris, watch his eyes and watch the follow-through, and he stays firm at the so he can keep that follow-through there and not wavering off balance. He wants to keep that crispness of follow-through. Here's Pete Couture on the right lane.
And Couture with a double. Nelson Burton Jr. leading by 9. If Couture can strike in the 6th frame, he will lead by 1.
One little tip to our viewers, Chris, about what Bo Burton did at the foul lane, posing there a little bit. He wanted him settling himself down a little bit because he had a tendency to run the strike out. He was getting a little off balance early, holding on the ball too long. So he wanted to stay there and pose a little bit, settle himself down, get back in his game.
All right. A 1-pin lead now held by Pete Couture. This is some battle to get into the final game against tournament leader Pete Weber. Bo Burton has a triple working. He'll be shooting the 6th, but a replay of that last strike.
Good roll on the ball. Good solid hit. All 10 pins in the pit. How about that? As soon as he got that strike, he looked right back at Bo that time, Chris, and gave him that psych job again.
All right, now Bo can regain the lead with a strike here. 6th frame, semifinal game. And our seesaw battle, like a good boxing match, taking place here at Dick Weber Lanes in Florissant, Missouri. They jab, and then they throw the knockout punch with those strikes.
No roundhouses today.
No. All right. Bob Rosberg Jr. is our producer today. Spent 10 years of his life growing up here in St. Louis, a graduate of St. Louis University, so we have a lot of St. Louis going for us on the telecast, including this man, the tournament leader, Pete Weber, as well.
And let's say hello to Mr. Rosberg, too.
Yeah, Dad Rosberg, Eisenhower Hospital after triple heart. And if Bob the golfer is watching, that's the way he used to putt. Right in the pocket or in the cup. What a match. More of it. But first, this pause.
As a relief pitcher, everybody thought I had it easy. See Pat here? He'd pitch his heart out for 8 innings or so, and then
Sparky come in, toss 3 or 4 pitches, and walk away with a win.
But I had to
train just like the rest of us.
Yeah, well, I still like to keep in shape, and I
He drinks light beer from Miller.
See, light's
Less filling,
and light
really tastes great.
Will you just let me finish?
Why? You never let me finish.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Let me finish that for you, Sparky.
Most people who use Black & Decker power tools on weekends probably don't know why they keep on going strong year in, year out. But the pros got to cut through 2-inch angle iron with a Black & Decker chop saw. He knows why. He knows that like everything Black & Decker makes, this chop saw is built tough and reliable and strong. In other words, it's built like a Black & Decker.
8th frame shot now for Pete Couture. Couture has just bowled 5 strikes in a row against red-hot Nelson Burton Jr. in the 3rd match, the semifinal. While we were away, it was a strike for Couture in the 7th. You just saw his strike in the 8th, and look at this reaction. Normally placid. Oh, no. Oh, does he want to defeat this man? Nelson Burton, 278 in the first game, 279 in the second game. Whew. And again, with a strike here, he can take a 9-pin lead. in a row for Nelson Burton Jr.
Chris, this man has enough experience behind him that he doesn't get psyched out. He doesn't get shook by the other guys striking so much. He knows his job, and he knows how he's supposed to do it, and he does it well.
The Olympic Games, exclusively here on ABC, will follow our telecast from Florissant, Missouri. And if there were Olympics of bowling, you're seeing it right here. Believe me, you will never see better pocket hits or better bowlers. We're live.
We are.
Ninth frame up, big one. 6 in a row. Oh, a 10-pin.
He wanted that so bad, got a little crisp with the shot, a little too much speed, causing the flat 10. Threw the ball well.
You saw a little bit of relief on the face of Couture.
Here it is. Not quite getting solid in the pocket, laying the 6 in the gutter, leaving the weak 10. Trying to boost it up there with his teeth a little bit.
Cross lane. Sensational bowling, and Dick, looks to me like there could be a tie.
Well, yes, it's very, very important on the count here. Of course, this strike here for Pete Couture will put him 2 pins up. Of course, the next ball, the 10th frame, first ball in the 10th frame, he has to watch the count. He can't be too laxed out there.
Talk about pressure. Right now, in this third game of the day, Couture and Burton. Look at that! That is glued to the deck. The 8-pin.
Wow, a bad break for Pete, good break for Bo. You can't say anything more. Here's the reaction of the ball. Solid as can be. The 1 and the 3 just kiss and go right around the 8-pin. Wowie. Look at that.
Yeah.
Disbelief.
Well, his work at the hand knocked down the 8-pin. Strike in the 9th frame. 208 for Bo through 8 with a spare up. 199 for Couture through the 8 with a spare up.
The situation, Chris. Couture must double and at least 9 pins to force Burton to get a strike and spare for a tie. If he goes all the way, this would force Burton to get 2 strikes in the 10th frame.
There's Hall of Famer Harry Smith, acting tournament director, as Harry Golden is recuperating from heart surgery. Wish him well. He'll be back. And ask for a re-rack, and he gets it. They're allowed 3. Now they look closely again, Dick.
And the bowler is calling the pin that are off. Whether Harry will grant him or not, yes, he does grant the re-rack, because the bowler will call the pin that's off. And if the tournament director agrees, he gets his re-rack. There's Joe Antonora, wonderful commissioner of the PBA.
Quality.
Oh, yes. Gentleman Joe. All right, again, Pete knows his work cut out for him. He needs this first strike to force Burton to spare to mark. Second strike to force Burton to strike and spare with him.
Pete Couture of Windsor Locks, Connecticut, 38 years old, 5 feet 8, 140 pounds. He won last year's Kessler Open in San Jose, beating Marshall Holman. 5 championships. You know, his father, Al, has his name in the Guinness Book of World Records, Dick, for the fastest knockout in boxing, when he KO'd his opponent in 10.5 seconds.
He must have leaped at his opponent.
Yeah.
Pete Couture needs this strike to force Bo to get the first one in the 10th.
So in the next game, they'll be bowling for $31,000. The loser of this match, $7,500. That has not been decided. This is tension. Yeah. Look at him down on his knees.
Count is very important here for him. He needs at least 9 pins to force Bo to strike and spare for the tie. If he carries the strike and gets 2:49 game that will force Bo Burton to get the first 2 strikes, no matter what the pins count will be in the third ball of the 10th frame.
The reaction coming from a man who had the highest average this week of 223.5. All those games and bowling that well. That's why they're in the finals here in our telecast from Florissant, Missouri. Bo looking away. Oh, talk about turning the screws, applying pressure. 249 for Pete Couture. 9 strikes.
Beautiful shot game. Bo knows his work. Needs the first 2 strikes and 2 pins to win.
C.C. Burton. I think it's worth sitting there and watching.
Tough seat.
Here's Bo in the right lane. There's one. Well, you will not see better bowling anywhere, anytime, any place.
Holy mackerel.
Now
look, he's going to put another piece of tape in the bowling ball. Now that takes courage, because he just threw the best ball of his life, first ball in the 10th frame. That tightens the thumb up a little bit. You can relax the thumb a little bit easier, get the good roll.
Nikki and Katrina and Tripper, the 3 Burton children, watching with their mom. Now he needs one more of those X's right here. Whew. I don't know. Jim Stefanich in 1975 in Denver had the highest 3-game series on television, and Bo could tie that record. $815 was the total. $257 to Pete Couture's $249. Nelson Burton Jr. in an all-St. Louis final will meet Pete Weber. And that is coming up live from Missouri.
Now you owe me $4 million, Dad.
$3 million.
Want to go double or nothing? Bet you my deodorant's stronger than yours.
Oh, you lose. My deodorant's Old Spice.
But mine's new, improved Old Spice.
New improved Old Spice with 25% more odor fighters. Extra strong and lasts all day long. Helps keep you smelling fresh long into the night.
Hey, you're right. That new Old Spice is still working.
New improved Old Spice. Extra strong. Lasts long.
I owe you $6 million.
8, Dad.
Firestone announces our master plan for better car care. Master Care. It's the mastermind of Firestone, our engine diagnostic center that virtually eliminates repair guesswork. It's Firestone's Master Care mechanics. It's strict quality control. It's a warranty on parts and labor good nationwide. And that's just the beginning. Our master plan for better car care. Master Care by Firestone.
Is the pressure to grow up faster destroying our children? Monday on ABC's World News Tonight.
Harder Mazda Olympics update.
Do you think Harder's huge Mazda selection will affect the team this year?
Why, certainly. Just look at the lineup they have. Sleek Mazda 626s, Mazda RX-7s, Mazda GLCs for reliability, and our powerhouse Mazda pickups.
Oui, Harder Mazda sélection est incroyable. Nous n'avons pas un charme.
Once again, Harder's special Olympics Mazda selection makes the difference.
Harder Mazda I-80 in Davis.
You see them everywhere. The new Cruise Air 2 by Georgie Boy from Venture Out, the largest RV dealership in California. And I'm Lon Simmons inviting you to check this new Class A motorhome. It's not only the most moderately priced motorhome, it comes to you fully equipped. Choose your size from the popular 24, 27, 30, and 33-foot models. Load your family and head for your own vacation paradise. It's the new Cruise Air 2 from Venture Out Recreational Vehicles. Help fight multiple sclerosis today.
We're back in St. Louis at one of the truly outstanding days and performances in bowling history. Nelson Burton Jr. averaging, holy mackerel,
271.
Isn't that something, in 3 games? And he has won the 3 against some great bowling by Couture, Holman, and Gibson, with TV average today 249.6. And the All St. Louis match final is coming up. Total purse, $125,000. And here are the way. Ted Hanna was our alternate from Zanesville, Ohio. Mike Albee was a leader earlier. As we go down the list, John Forst from LaGrange, Illinois. A lot of area bowlers made the finals.
2 more boys from St. Louis, born Hop and Wonderlick.
That's right.
Great shooters.
And Randy Lightfoot
from St. Charles, yes.
So, Dick Weber, you have every reason to be proud, as Storm DeVincent was the last to get into the championship round, as we go into the final match here at Dick Weber Lanes, and this championship pair has been extraordinary today. Whew.
You know, something I must say, Chris, I remember shaking Bull Burton's hand a couple of times on the telecast, and there's a thrill now here, Bull Burton shaking my son's hand. So
isn't that something? Another generation, and here's Pete Weber. Left a 4-pin on the left lane, and what he needs to do is be as red hot as his shirt, because his opponent has in 3 games.
That's for sure.
And he smooth. Oh, one of the smooth deliveries that you'll ever see. And what Pete has to not let himself hurry. This happens to all the great professionals. Sometimes they'll hurry up a shot. Thus far, Bo really hasn't.
Oh, he does. He knows he has the advantage.
Yes. Look at that. 271 average for 3 games. Missed the record by 2 pins. He just never lets up. He's had now 30 strikes.
30 strikes out of a possible 37 frames, Chris. That's pretty good shooting. You just can't find any better.
Especially when it's a live coast-to-coast telecast. The pressure is there. Sure, the money's important, but to win another title is what Bo is after, because he bowls in most of the tournaments, most of the time doing commentary here with me. And when he does get into the finals, we bring in our super-duper alternate, Dick Weber. Well, that surprised the fans here. A 10-pin on the left lane.
First solid 10 that he's left. He left two flat 10s, but that's the first solid 10 he's left. Seemed like he picked up a little more speed, causing the pin to rise a little bit and wrap around the neck of the 10 pin.
There again, showing you the scores: 278, 279, 257. Incredible. How to shoot spares. These 2 pros showing you in the first frame and in the second frame how to do it. Now let's take a look at this 21-year-old who is 5 feet 7 inches tall, 125 pounds. I double-checked that with him, because we skinny guys want to have the exact weight. Pete's at 125.
Yeah. Somebody dropped something, and Pete...
Wisely.
Good thinking, Pete. I'll have to congratulate him on that.
That shows maturity.
Yes.
Now, you must remember, Pete has won 2 championships. Here in the establishment where he started it all. And Dick, did you give him much instruction to bring about a stroke like this?
No, as we watch a profile here, Chris, Pete has that extremely high backswing, and I really never gave him that type of advice. He learned to bowl with a 6-pound bowling ball, and that's how he created his style. He's good and firm at the foul line, good follow-through. But I'd advise him to jump on this strike right now. Oh, he's high. He's high.
Well, there's Dad.
Yeah. Dad with these little specs.
It's all right. Well, now that you're 42, Dick, sometimes spectacles become important.
Oh, you're very nice.
All right. Pete Weber now going for the 6-pin, gets it. In an all St. Louis final. Well, back in the early 1800s, two fellows left from across the river named Lewis and Clark up the Missouri and made that historic journey. And this is truly a historic city, and there's history right here today. What are the odds on two St. Louis natives making it to the finals from a huge field in the lanes of Dick Weber? Another 10 for Nelson.
There again, a little bit of speed, and it seemed like he moved a board or two inside where the ball went longer down the lane and never grabbed soon enough to knock out the 10-pin.
Now, are conditions changing, you think?
Could possibly be, Chris. Viewing it from up here, he had a reason to move in, evidently. So the lanes could be breaking down slightly, and he moved in slightly.
Cross lane. Watch how Bo does it. And like we say, well, how does he do it? Very carefully, taking his time.
He's been around long enough, and sometimes we backfield coaches back here criticize a man for making the move, especially when he's averaging 271. But he has enough background to make that smart move to jump on a young fellow like Pete, and that's part of the sport. That's part of the sport.
Today, Bo Burton strike in the 4th frame in a very close final match. All St. Louis, Burton, and Weber. Wow. We'll be back after this.
Sometimes you get a headache you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. You feel you can't escape the throbbing. You need a powerful pain reliever. Norwich Extra Strength Aspirin. The maximum amount of pain reliever you can get unless you see your doctor. And Norwich is pure aspirin. No caffeine, no additives.
Feeling fine, good buddy.
Norwich Extra Strength Aspirin. Pure power, pure relief.
Suddenly, the pain stops. Chloroseptic for painful sore throats.
My throat feels much, much better.
Suddenly, the pain stops.
Boy, that's quick relief.
Suddenly, the pain stops. People are discovering Chloroseptic. Doctors and pharmacists recommend it more than any other brand.
That works really good.
Chloroseptic for painful sore throats. Suddenly, the pain stops.
Disaster just hit this 21-year-old professional. Here it is. 10-pin left after a solid hit. Whether he hurried it, too much speed, stuck at the line, well, the end result, an open frame.
Hurried the shot, Chris. Hurried the shot. And a little fatherly advice. I just advise him to move right, just a slight bit. Maybe a couple of boards. Move the spot a couple of boards to the right, because he's just so far inside, the ball never gets into a good roll when it hits the pocket. When it does hit the pocket, then it's flat.
Here's a 3-6 attempt now. All right, 21-year-old Pete. We would also advise him not to get his dauber down.
That's
because
right.
He had an error there in the 4th frame, because there's plenty of time left. He is against the hottest bowler in the United States today,
Right.
Nelson Burton. Strike up shooting in the 5th. Nelson was 20 years old when Pete was born. And he remembers it.
You know, I bowled Nelson Burton Jr. when he was 21 years of age. Luckily beat him.
In the pocket, a double. Increasing his lead now to 21 pins.
Ironically, Chris, in the 2 match games that they faced each other in the finals during match play, Pete beat Bo Burton both times. And Bo knows that. So
yeah, you can tell Bo is apprehensive. We know him like a book, like a brother, and we've followed him, needless to say, for 23 years. And let me tell you, he knows that he's in against a tough cookie.
Oh.
And vice versa. Pete knows the same.
They both respect each other.
So a 3-bagger, and Bo, that exhaling, he knows that he's maybe tiring a bit here. This is his 4th game today. So it's a 3-bagger for Bo. Now, Pete Weber, Dick's son, shooting in the 6th, needs a strike. Of course, you always need a strike, but right here, he really needs it.
Took his time, slowed down a little bit, got a good roll.
Here's Pete Weber. Dick, you're his dad. Just follow this along. Go ahead.
Well, this is shot in Hawaii here. The first picture was 6 months old, but then here he is in Hawaii with an exhibition with myself and my 2 other sons and daughter and wife.
Oh, yeah. Look. Hey. He's ready. All right, now he needs it to double.
Call the house manager. Bad break.
Bad break. That could be, well, he might remember that 10. Wobbly 10.
Yes. Oh, Pete. He's rushing the fouling, Chris.
Yeah, he really is.
He knows it. He just...
We should tell him we know he has a lot of speed, but don't overdo it, right? Because he's in against a toughie. Nelson Burton Jr. averaging 271. There's Pete's wife. Pressure for her today, too. Gosh, Nicole.
Pressure for the whole family.
Yeah, Dad. Another 10 for Nelson Burton on the right lane.
Second solid 10 is Nicolette looks on, and wife Sissy. There's Katrina. All seem smiles because Daddy's in the lead by 42 pins.
And that other magnificent face on the screen was Frank Esposito of Paramus, our coordinator. He gets always with beautiful people. All right. Well done. Classic stylist Nelson Burton Jr. leading by 42 through 7 frames. His opponent, as you see, has had 2 opens, and that has been a disaster for the 21-year-old. We're in Florissant, Missouri at Dick Weber Lanes.
Those 2 misses, by the way, Chris, are 2 10 pins. Rushed the shot. Not taking time. You just can't do that in this type of format. 1 game.
Bo with a strike in the 8th frame as he tries for his 17th PBA title. Well, we'll determine that when we come back, but right now, pause for this message.
The Angle Ball, the big winner on last winter's Pro TV Tour. 4 times more wins than any other ball. Inspires Angle winning wear for your winning lifestyle. Angle shirts, winners wear them everywhere. Angle bowling shoes, fast lock. Angle bags that travel the world. For your winning lifestyle, Angle winning wear at pro shops only.
I crushed a lot of quarterbacks in my day, and I'm real sorry. So I wrote this letter. Dear quarterbacks, I apologize for the way I treated you. Please let me buy you a light beer from Miller. Light's my beer because it tastes great. I'm sure it's yours, too, because you little guys can't afford to get filled up. Hope to see you soon. Sincerely, L.C. Greenwood.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
I hear that L.C. Greenwood has invited quarterbacks to join him for a light beer from Miller. Well, here's my reply. Dear L.C., I accept your gracious offer. A quarterback is far too intelligent to turn down a light beer because it's less filling and it tastes great. Even you big, clumsy linemen know that. Hope to see you here soon. Sincerely, Bert Jones. Come on, Bert!
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
How'd he do that?
Bill Carlson will attempt to swim almost 2.5 miles, bike 112 miles, and run a marathon. Bill is a diabetic. The Ironman Triathlon World Championship today.
While we were away, Pete Weber, Gritty Pete, came back with a double. But Nelson Burton Jr., who is seemingly on his way to his 4th consecutive victory here today, has just broken a 4-game record held by Larry Laub of 10-21, 4 games in Kansas City in 1972. Incredible performance by this pro.
This is a professional performance.
And I guess in this Olympic year, it's a year to have records broken. And Nelson Burton Jr. has done it. And last night watching the Olympics, Dick, in one of my favorite events, figure skating, the #2 Soviet pair in figure skating, you know the music they were skating to? St. Louis Blues.
Oh, beautiful.
Ah. So you're looking at the man that is the Angle Open champion, his 17th championship, but a record set for 4 games. He had to win 4 of them in order to, in his hometown, win $20,000 in the trophy. He shot a .236 to go along with his other big scores, .278, .279, and .257. So, once again, the winner is Nelson Burton Jr., and we congratulate our colleague and thank Dick Weber for filling in.
Thank you.
Stay tuned next for our continuing coverage of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. Travel arrangements made through a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies to Hong Kong from more top business centers with 3-class Royal Pacific service. A record-setting day. This has been an